Hello, well Reese and I today are at the Warwickshire Exhibition Centre, and this is where the International Astronomy Show is being held, 17th and 18th of May. Today's the 18th. Yesterday we came, or at least I came with Steve and Terry from Rosseston Astronomy Group. As you can see, it's in the middle of a field near Coventry. It's taken us about an hour from Lichfield to get down here. Yesterday I got to Steve and Terry and I got to meet Paul Abel and Peter Lawrence and Mark Honey. Today there's a fair number of speakers. We're going to see a few talks and see some great telescopes. Okay, yes, Steve and Terry.
Yes.
What's your opinion of the International Astronomy Show?
It's the most illuminating.
Really? Terry, what do you think?
Exactly.
Lots of stars.
So is this the telescope you're going to buy, is it, Terry? The new Revelation 16-inch?
If we can get it in your car.
Get it in my car.
Let's get this one.
Or is that going to go with the EQ6 you intended to buy and the £2,000 spectroscopy kit you've organised with that chap? And then Steve here's booked himself up for about 10 Teleview eyepieces for a new kit, I think.
The 10 grand mount over there as well.
Also, one of you wanted to buy that observatory, didn't you, as well? I think that was you, Terry, wasn't it? That was me, was it? That was me. I've done quite well so far today, I haven't bought a thing. Well, we seem to have a lot of people here, don't we? But not quite as busy as perhaps Astrofest is. 2 long talks this morning.
Andy, you know that eyepiece of mine?
Yeah.
That Revelation one? This Revelation.
Yes.
There's a Revelation vision box down there.
So we're going to have a look. So the hall itself is quite a large hall with about 40 odd exhibitors. Compared to Astrofest in London, it's a lot more space, much wider walkways. This makes for a more enjoyable experience and also allows the telescopes and things to be spread out more. However, having said that, there aren't quite the same number of exhibitors that you see there. And certainly yesterday there didn't seem to be the same number of discounts and deals that we normally come to expect in London. As I said before, some of the major exhibitors are here, so Telescope Help's got one. This one's from the Widescreen Centre here, and to be honest, having been to the Widescreen Centre in London, I think their store here is bigger than what they have actually in their London store. A whole range of bits of kit from filters through to a range of beginners and more advanced telescopes. So a lot of expertise on offer. We've got the new range of DLOS eyepieces available on the Teleview stand here.
It's fine if you...
The guy seems to be doing certainly risk interest. I don't know how much that's converting into business. And we have some really quite phenomenal Dobbs on offer. This rather large Dobsonian here taken my interest. I think I must be running around about sort of 18 inches. And if I take us just round the corner, if it's still there, here was Explore Scientific's new refractor. Pretty impressive piece of kit. And if I take around the corner, we pass an all-sky camera and come around to this. Now this beastie is a 20-inch telescope. Dobsonian obviously breaks down quite easily compared to my 16-inch Meade Lightbridge at home. When I looked at it yesterday, it's got a 25 kilogram primary mirror cell, so it's actually somewhat smaller. The manufacturers, I'm sure, will tell me a little bit more if I ask him.
Well,
so,
what kind of question do you want? This is a 20-inch Altas telescope, a Dobson. You have the Dobson is made with new materials. We are using aluminium, carbon, and composite. And it's very, very compact. So you have a maximum complexity and a maximum stiffness because of collimation. So you have the best quality for this kind of Altas telescope.
Yeah, I understand. What's the focal ratio on this?
The focal ratio is a 3.3.
313. Now, I mean, I've got a 16-inch Meade light bridge, and I find that quite difficult to collimate, and that's f4.5. So if I was buying this, I'd be quite worried about being able to collimate this. But you were saying that the better materials make that an easier job.
We're using the best material, aluminium, carbon, and composite because of capacity. So to give you the best setting up for collimation. So with this kind of material, you don't have any problem for collimation.
Right. And I notice you've got 4 sets of trusses on it. I assume that helps with the stiffness as well.
Yeah.
And you've managed to keep the primary mirror box quite light, only 25 kilos. Is that a honeycomb mirror that you use there?
It's not a honeycomb mirror, it's a suplex mirror, but the thickness is about 2 inches.
Right, okay.
So you have the weight of the mirror is about 25 kilograms.
Right. Yeah. I mean.
And we are making ourselves the optics because we have an optical workshop.
Okay. I mean, traditionally, 1 in 6 is the ratio on the mirrors. So if it's only 2 inches on 20 inches, that's 1 in 10 ratio. How do you keep the mirror stiff enough or stop it from deforming to lose its quality?
We have a special. We have a special mirror cell. It's a 18-point mirror cell.
Yeah.
So it's a specialized design for such primary mirror.
Right. Okay.
So it is calculated by a computer, so it works.
Excellent.
You can guarantee.
Excellent. Well.
You know, there's such a lot that can be done with CCDs. Modern CCDs are incredibly powerful tools for research and for the kind of stuff I do, which is just a pretty picture imaging. But they're incredibly powerful tools. So hopefully, you'll when you leave this talk, you'll rush out and buy a CCD camera. Okay, David, put the lights out. So, oh, that's nice and dark. Okay, CCD basics. Let's go straight on to the first.
Hi, I'm here with Gary Palmer here from Telescope House. We've got a massive display here at the International Astronomy Show. Hi Gary, can you tell me a little bit about what you guys have brought along?
Yeah, we've brought along a lot of stuff for the weekend really. We've got a lovely 152 lump that's come in. That's been brought.
Is that the one just behind us here, is it?
It's been brought in especially to show here. Unfortunately, the sun's not out today, so we haven't been able to get it outside for the event. But it's still drawing a lot of interest. We've got Mark come over. Yeah, he's here from Charlie Bates. Yeah,
Hi, Mark.
And his own group. And we've given out all free solar sunglasses and things like that.
Yeah, thanks. So it's Mark Townley.
That's right.
Yeah, hi Mark. Yeah.
And we've also got lots of pictures and lots of other things on display. Really sort of bringing solar out to people and getting them to understand what it's about.
Oh well, I'm a Dob man myself. I noticed you've got the 16-inch new Revelation Dob. Would you mind showing us that, perhaps?
Yeah, you can have a look around it.
Any interest in this from people coming to the?
There has. So I'm more on the solar side, so I haven't been dealing too much with what's been going on this side of things. But you've also got the new prototype one, the Explore Scientific, on our stand down there as well. The other big Dobsonian.
Right. Yeah.
There seems to be a general interest in a lot of the stuff. We've got a lot of new Meade products as well.
Yeah.
That are turning up. So it's been quite a good event to show everybody all the new equipment.
Yeah. Well, what about this one over here? This mount with all the different telescopes on.
Yeah, that was built by Steve, and he's built that for the event, and it's basically to show everybody the solar scopes at head height. So then what we're actually doing is you can wander around and have a look at them, see all of the differences in the scopes. And it was just an easier way of displaying them without having loads and loads of memories spinning around.
So in your opinion, if somebody's just about getting into solar observing now, what do you think is the best telescope to buy for that purpose?
In the lower price range, it's either going to be the Lunt LS35, or if we come around this way, we did have one here. I'm just going to it's dismantling it. Yeah, but I'll grab one. Or the Coronado PST.
Yeah.
In which case, if we stay there for 2 seconds, I'll just grab.
Okay.
Okay, so we've got one of the PSTs here, and these are really, really good entry-level scopes. The LS35 does more or less the same thing, and it's really down to choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also a little bit on budget, but I really think at the end of the day you can't go wrong with the PST. I've still got one, I still go back to it all the time, even though I've got larger scopes.
Yeah. And I notice at the moment you're offering a 10% off for anybody coming to the...
10% off, and there's 10% off on the website at the moment, so...
and how long does that last for?
That you'll have to check with one of the others over there.
Yeah.
I'm 100% sure on that.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'm more dealing on this sort of solar side.
Okay. Well, thanks very much, Phil. So this is roll-off observatory. It's quite a nice one, actually. I think you just stick it in your garden. The problem with our house is at the bottom of the garden. Would you say, Reese, it'd be the trees are in the way, aren't they? I've got to see. So we stuck a Celestron C8 in here. Very neat little thing. Okay, I found one of the barred Q turrets. This was been in the magazines recently. It's quite interesting looking at it. It's a 1.25 inch attachment. A little bit quite lightweight, really. I'm not quite sure how much back focus it requires. But a neat little device, but really based on the 1.25 inch eyepieces. But an easy way to be able to change between your eyepieces without having to pull them in and out the eyepiece cases. Well, I'm here with Jan from Wes Photographic. Thanks for speaking to me, Jan. You've got the new Canon EOS 60DA there. At Rosston Astronomy Group, we've got a number of members who are interested in astrophotography. Is this a camera that they should think of buying, do you think?
This actually is in the semi-professional range. For the professional range, you're going to buy something called CCD camera. But this one, for most of the professionals, they use this one.
Yes.
Yeah, they got a built-in infrared card filter for astronomy photography, which is really nice. Which means you can see more of these hydrogen alpha light in the sky in the dark space.
Okay. Yes.
Which means if you use a normal, digital SLR, take photos of the sky, you're gonna see some pictures like this. Yeah. But if you use a 60DA, you're going to see more red in space.
A lot more of the nebulosity showing up, yes. Okay.
And it's a very good price, so buy one today.
So at the moment you've got this on at £995, 179 off the normal price.
That's
and of course the thing that you haven't said, that's the most important thing about a DSLR, is you can use it for daytime photography as well.
You can use daytime photography, but they don't recommend you to use for daytime photography, sorry about that.
Yeah.
Because you are seeing more red.
Right.
So I can show you that.
Okay.
You use the camera to turn on a live view, yeah?
Yep.
You shoot daytime photos. You see the red is not the red, it's different.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's more, it's brighter.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not quite quite the same. Yeah. I mean, does it try to replace the missing filter when you're using it for daytime photography? Or is there a way of doing that? Can you buy a filter to go on the end? Or?
I'm not quite sure. You probably can ask some other hidden specialists.
Yeah.
I believe you can buy some filters.
Yeah.
People told me that you can buy a filter. Just put it in between this lens and the sensor.
Okay.
And you can get rid of those red.
Okay.
It's a special camera for astrophotography.
Okay. So, hi. Thank you for agreeing to have a chat to Rosston Astronomy Group.
Hi, I'm David Wright. I run Space Rocks UK, and we're Britain's only full-time meteorite dealership. We've got every type of meteorite, and they're all affordable. It's our aim is to keep things so that everybody can buy one. They go to schools, colleges, universities. They range from huge stony meteorites like this from North Africa, which will be about £600, iron meteorites from Argentina, from Russia, right down to pocket ones for as little as £10. Linda and I both have degrees in astronomy, so we know what we're talking about. And we source the things at source, we pay fair trade prices all around the world, and we've got 3 more years before we retire, so get in quickly.
So you got a whole range of stuff from boxes of little bits of meteorites here sold at sort of 50p a gram or 10p a gram, through to, as you say, some of the more mounted pieces. So if somebody was going to get started in meteorite collecting, how would you recommend they go about doing that?
I'd start off with nice big chunks of common chondrites. They're very good value. A decent critical size one costs you about £30. I'd always buy the best you can afford. They will always go up in price. They get rarer and rarer and rarer. If it were me, I'd go for a big stone one, a big iron one, and a palisite, and then go to go.
Okay, well, thank you very much for speaking to me, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the... Okay, hi, I'm here with Richard Day from Skylight Telescopes, who've got, I think, must be some of the most beautiful telescopes here at the International Astronomy Show. Hi Richard, how's it going at the conference?
It's actually going very well. The show was very well. Yesterday was apparently a quiet day, and today is turning out to be a busier, so it's for the month of show. It's very, very good.
So there seems to be a bit more space around, doesn't there, compared to Astrofest?
There is. Astrofest has its place, but it is a very, very small venue compared to this. It is in a fairly good location, and it does have good resources around it as well, but this is working out really well. I think it's got a good future.
Excellent. Well, I mean, you produce these absolutely gorgeous telescopes. Can you show me perhaps the telescopes that you produce?
Sure.
Yeah. Tell me a few of the features.
Sure. It's about 5 years old. It was basically born out of an appreciation of Victorian instruments. Yes, particularly by Team. It's got the Team and something. And I was looking at a 3-inch f15, quite disappointed that nobody makes anything like that.
Some of the best plans ever made.
Yes, absolutely. And the long macromat has been a bit like to get these ones. So in a burst of enthusiasm and inspiration, I thought that would fill that void and do something like it.
I mean, when I look at this one here, and I think even my wife would be happy to have that in the front room.
My designs do have good, a very high spells.
Sure, yeah. They look like a real telescope, don't they?
I actually had someone ask me yesterday if this was for me to cook, which I'm not doing. This is a fairly old one. This is about 2 years old. This is aging reasonably well, but because it's not using scratch, but this is a legitimate fine. That is an older one. I don't actually make that one. It's now 13. What is new for this year is this one just over here.
Yes.
This is an F15.
Okay.
I've been very fortunate to have David and Al Nagle do the optics for me on this. So the optics are actually made by...
So you've got a ton of the optics. So you've got a combination of premium optics plus the long focal ratio. I mean, this must be exquisite views, I should think.
In terms of the teleview aspect of it, it's very unusual and it's quite significant. In the teleview, I've never offered a lens to make it independent. They've never allowed their name to be used on another product. So the whole concept is very, very unique. Also, for the first time, this is available in something other than black, because until now it's always.
So that is a very nice colour.
It's a beautiful color. It's beautiful. This one is actually the main batch of optics arrived on one, and this is actually number 1. This is being sold here today. It's going to pick it up. So this at the end of the day was this is built to order with various different items. It was finished on Thursday morning. The telescope itself was finished on Thursday morning. I brought it here Thursday afternoon. And I finished the box on Wednesday afternoon.
It's even things just like the dew guard at the front. I mean, look at that brass. It's just marvellous. I just wonder a little bit about this very large telescope. I can see how they got fantastic images. How do you mount it?
It's often discussed, mounting issues, and in my eyes, comes down to your perception and what you expect. If you expect views through a long focus refractor, excuse me, if you expect viewing through a long focus refractor to be the same as an 80mm f5 f6, your expectations are a little unrealistic. With a long focus refractor, there is some the design, in my eyes, favor the patient. Sit down, enjoy the view, don't be in a rush. Mount it on a HEQ5 or up. There'll be a little bit of movement. it's part of the experience. Sit down, relax, enjoy the view. That's what it comes down to. Ultimately, they are one of the few instruments in this show that are actually made in the UK. Anything that's not made by hand in Wimbledon, apart from the glass, comes from another one or two companies local to the area.
Well, thank you very much. And I hope you enjoy the rest of the show. Thank you. Well, I'm here with Rufus and Marcus here from Astrograph Limited, and I think I've got to just say before we start that what's making this store particularly popular is this small telescope over here, which is just how big is that, Marcus? 10 inch. 10 inch. Gosh, wow. I mean, what sort of mount do you need to put that on?
EP 1600.
Okay, so so something pretty big then. And most of the domes being sold today wouldn't be quite big enough for it either, I guess.
Another show, yes.
Another show, okay. So, could you tell me a little bit about your company and the type of things that you produce?
We, Astrograph, are the representative for APM telescopes in the UK. APM telescopes is the world's largest manufacturer in terms of size and range of apochromatic refractors. So everything from a 100mm refractor up to a 20-inch apochromat, which is the world's largest.
20-inch, Marcus. That 10-inch is just the small one that you produce, and that's the baby.
That is the largest of the serial production.
Oh, right.
That's the largest in continuous production.
Okay.
Larger than that, special order, but
right.
Anything you'd like.
Anything you'd like. Yes, I can imagine taking one that's home to the wife, you know.
510 is coming soon and is going to Italy, near Rome, for public observatory.
And they say that Europe's got no money. And they say that Europe's got no money.
Some people always have money.
That's true. That's true. It makes you swoon at the thought of having such a telescope. So, what sort of focal ratio would that 10-inch have?
That 10-inch has f9.
F9. Okay. Okay.
It can be made also faster if you need.
Okay. So, would that be an astrograph predominantly, or would it be an observational telescope?
Yes, it's an observatory telescope. It's a universal telescope. You can use it for visual, for imaging, for solar observing, whatever you want. For bird watching.
Bird watching? You're telling me next it's a grab and go you can chuck in the back of the car?
You can mount it on our large Altazimuth mount and use it for whale watching.
I suppose you could, that's true. That's true. Yes. Well, I mean, these are phenomenal instruments that you've got here. They're absolutely gorgeous, and thank you very much for talking to me today about them. Hope you enjoy the rest of the show.
Have you got what you want?
Yes, just 2 seconds. Okay.
Okay. Well, good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're enjoying this, the first International Astronomy Show. It's really been an excellent event so far, and I'm hoping we're going to be able to add to that. So as you can see, I am a space expert. I can say that. That's how described by Sky News. I'm talking about the space station, and also last August when Neil Armstrong died, and I was interviewed by both Sky and BBC. Some people, the visitors, have also pointed out that I have a Blue Peter badge because I showed Zoe Salmon and the Blue Peter team how rockets work. So I run Spaceflight UK. I go out to schools all over the country with a load of goodies, including a set of inflatable planets. How many planets do we have in the solar system? Probably not the number that you're thinking of. And I have this air-launched rocket system, and the idea is to get young people interested in following the STEM subjects. And I'm also an author. This is my book, One Small Step, commemorating the moon landings. And Patrick had a copy, and he said that it's marvellous, which is a pretty good recommendation. So signed copies available after the talk, either here or over at my stand. So my subject today is life in the universe, and perhaps the most important question for mankind: are we alone? So I'm going to cover a number of topics. And we're going to look at this fascinating subject in various different ways.
Hi, I'm with Dr. Me, who's written a book about the Higgs force. Hi Dr. Me, thanks for speaking to me and the Rossiston Astronomy Group. Can you tell me a little bit about the new book that you've written?
Yes, well, it contains quite a lot of historical material about people like Plato and Kepler and Mendeleev, and research for symmetry and patterns in the laws of nature, and how the periodic table was put together, and then 20th century ideas about the different forces and how they come together into what physicists call standard model, and finding chapters about the Large Hadron Collider and the search for the last missing piece of the standard model, which is the Higgs boson, and then the announcement of its discovery last year.
Fantastic. And have you had a lot of interest in the book today? And
We've done really well here. It's been the International Astronomy Show Coventry.
Fantastic. Well, I've got myself a copy, and you've been kind enough to sign it for me. Thank you. I'm looking forward to reading it.
Thank you. I'm sure you'll enjoy it.
Well, I'm here with Stuart Clark. Hi, Stuart. Thanks for agreeing to speak to Rossiston Astronomy Group. How have you found the conference so far?
Oh, it's been absolutely great. It's really busy, fantastic book sales, so lots of interest from people, and a great day. Fabulous to see so many people so interested in astronomy, coming out to a new venue and a new show.
Well, your talk yesterday was quite popular.
Yeah, sold out yesterday, sold out today, so couldn't be happier.
And what are you talking about today?
So today, I'm talking about Albert Einstein and the day without yesterday. So this is how general relativity led to the beginning of the understanding for the origin of the universe in some form of Big Bang. So some beginning to time itself, which they call the day without yesterday. So, and of course it's my latest.
In your latest book, I was going to just ask you about your books, because you've got your various books here. Do you want to tell us about the ones that you've written?
Yeah, so these, the Sky Stark Labyrinth trilogy is the life stories of various astronomers throughout history, so Galileo and Kepler and Newton and Einstein, and together they dramatise the sequence of events that tell the history of astronomy.
Okay, and so which is the first book in the series?
Oh, the first book is the Sky Stark Labyrinth here, and this is Galileo and Kepler, and the beginning of our understanding that mathematics can be used to actually understand the universe. And then we move on to Newton, and Newton unifies the work of Galileo and Kepler into the theory of gravity.
Well, I mean, that's the one that I've read, and I can say it's a very good book. I got a bit. It certainly opened my eyes to Isaac Newton, and rather sadly spoilt the myth of the great man a little bit.
He wasn't this great sort of rational thinker that we all imagine him to be. He was extremely clear thinking, logical and mathematical, but he believed in alchemy, and he was a heretical theologian, and he used all of these ideas to pull together to form gravity. So his beliefs made put his life in very dangerous things.
He seemed to, from according to your book, tended to hold grudges a lot as well.
And yeah, he was very good at arguing and very good at holding grudges. So and it makes him a very rounded character, which is why I dramatised the stories and wrote them as novels.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. I hope you enjoy the rest of the conference.
Something right today. Okay. What I'm going to do, as I said, is to demonstrate some propellants and explosives. Going to look at some of the different aspects that we have. I've got a few things to experiment with. What I would say is the wind is blowing away from you, which is quite handy. Some of these things produce some fairly unpleasant gases. So if it does happen to come your way, I would recommend that you don't breathe it in. It's not harmful, but it isn't very pleasant, and it will make your throat stink, and it will cause a nasty gets the back of the nostrils and so forth. So just if it does happen to come your way, it shouldn't now, it should actually go away from us. Okay, I'm going to try some various bits and pieces. The first one I'm going to show you is a stuff called PIC, and it looks like a little bit of electrical wire, but it's actually, the PIC stands for plastic igniter cord, and it's stuff we use. We can use it for lighting hybrid rockets, but what we sometimes use it for is just a fuse, and what I'm going to use it for here is a fuse, so I can actually light things without getting too close to them. So it does burn fairly hot. You've seen on the TV programs where, you know, the fuse is burning towards the explosive and it's all getting very, very last minute and somebody stamps the fuse out. I'm going to try and stamp out the PIC. Won't be any surprise to see for anybody that wasn't very successful. So that's plastic igniter cord. That will burn beautifully underwater, and the reason you already know, of course, that it has its own oxygen. What else have I got in here? Here's a nice little device we sometimes use for ejecting parachutes. We use a stuff called Pyrodex. And Pyrodex is what they put in shotgun cartridges. This is a Pyrodex pellet, and the only difference is it's compressed into a little pellet. These are used inside old weapons instead of black powder or gunpowder, because they burn a little bit cleaner. And we again sometimes use these for lighting hybrid rockets. But I just want to show you how Pyrodex burns. It burns much more slowly at low pressure. So if you've got this contained inside a gun, it will simply go off with a flash and a bang. But in reality, in this case, it's not going to burn that powerfully. Hopefully you can all see this. The reason for the Kevlar gloves is that I had the indignity of going to our health and safety office asking for treatment for burns when I was doing an explosive demonstration for a load of school kids. So you can see it burns quite quickly, but it didn't go bang. Okay, what else have we got? One of the oxidizers that can be used is potassium nitrate. Potassium nitrate is used very extensively as a fertilizer and was very widely used by people in Northern Ireland in the 1960s and 70s and 80s in conjunction with diesel fuel to make car bombs. It's actually not a very good oxidizer. It burns quite slowly and it doesn't produce very high performance. But it is used inside rocketry sometimes for that very reason. If you want to produce gas, pressurized gas, for instance to pressurize a tank to push the propellant out, then this is one of the things you can use. So this is actually mixed with epoxy. So all I've done is taken some epoxy, some 5-minute epoxy, mixed it together and then mixed in some potassium nitrate. You can see it's burning quite slowly. It produces a lot of smoke, but it does burn quite slowly. Okay, let's try the same thing with ammonium perchlorate and epoxy. And you can see that burns much, much more quickly. So that was just a mixture of ammonium perchlorate and epoxy, which wasn't a particularly optimized mix. This is a properly optimized mix. This is the thing that I was waving about earlier. It's a chunk of solid rocket propellant. This would normally burn away. It's normally in much longer pieces. This will normally burn away in about 2 seconds. And when we fire the rocket, you'll see how fast that is. But it will burn more slowly here. So this is the proper stuff. As you can see, it produces a lot less smoke than the potassium nitrate based mixture. It did produce some smoke, and the smoke is actually aluminium oxide, which is what they make sandpaper out of. So when that's coming out of the back of the nozzle at Mach 5, 3,000 miles an hour, a mile and a half a second, then that's going to make cause quite a lot of erosion damage for anything that it lands on, and it leaves everything covered in a fine sort of sandpaper dust powder. Okay, well, I mentioned gunpowder earlier. I have some gunpowder here. What I'm going to do is put a little bit of gunpowder on here and just ignite it. Now, you know what gunpowder does, don't you? Yes? Good. Let's see what it does. So just a small amount. I don't want to use too much. That should be plenty.
No. Put it all on. Yes.
Okay, so that's gunpowder. It didn't go bang. And the reason it didn't go bang is because it wasn't confined. So what we've done is taken some gunpowder, put it out in the open, lit it, and it just burns very fast. And if you had a very, very large pile of that, like this high, and you lit it, then it would go bang, because it would all accelerate in towards the center, where you then get a lot of compression, a lot of high pressure, and at some point the flame front is going to go supersonic and it will detonate. But under normal circumstances, out in the air, it's not going to do that. However, of course, if it is confined, then it does go bang.
That woke me up.
Don't say, please, can I do that again? I can't. And the reason, of course, that it goes bang is it was confined. That was a 2-litre drinks bottle. And 2-litre drinks bottles are incredibly good at holding pressure, because the pressure that they can get if you shake them up with a carbonated drink is very high. They'll hold about 6 bar of pressure, or 6 times atmospheric pressure. The amount of gunpowder in there was not a 2-litre bottle full. It was about the same size as I had in there, about maybe 10 grams. So you can see it does make quite a bang, which is why it's over there and not over here. I'll fetch the remnants of the bottle. That was a 2-litre drinks bottle. It's now about a half-litre drinks bottle with a hole in one end. It's actually shrunk. If you look at it closely, you can see that it's sort of rippled all over, and it's actually blown the bottom out in this case. Doesn't always do that. The cap has been actually pulled inside the bottle for some reason, probably due to some sort of negative part of the pressure wave or something. So anyway, that was a 2-litre drinks bottle. Not much use anymore. Okay, so far, so interesting. But what you really came to see is this rocket fly. The rocket that I'm going to fly is actually the one on the pad over there, the red one. It doesn't look anything like the other rockets. And the reason for that, as I mentioned earlier, is if I take that size of rocket motor and stick it in one of the rockets we had in there, it's going to land somewhere a long way away, and it's going to take me a lot to find. I don't really want to drop it on the road out there or anything else. So we're going to fly something that's hopefully going to stay, if not within this area, then fairly close by. What I would say is, just in terms of safety, this rocket will reach a speed of about 130 miles an hour in probably about twice or 3 times its own length. By the time it comes off the top of that short rod, it's going to be doing that speed. It's not going to go any faster because of the drag of the rocket, the aerodynamic drag. It's a well-behaved rocket. It's flown several times before, and it's designed and intended to go straight up. If it doesn't and it comes towards you, don't try and outrun it. You won't. What you need to do is watch the rocket all the way through the flight, and if it comes your way, simply get out the way. There's a fence there that you can duck behind, and that will probably be okay. What is more likely to happen, not likely but more likely to happen, is when it reaches the top, it simply turns over and then falls down under gravity. There's no parachute to slow it down, but it will not come down at 130 miles an hour. It will probably come down at 30 miles an hour or something like that. If it lands on you, it's going to hurt, but it won't injure you. Otherwise, we wouldn't do it. But again, same thing. If it comes your way, then simply watch it and just simply move out the way. Please do not try to catch the rocket, kids or anybody else. Do not try to catch the rocket. There are things still going on inside the rocket motor that could hurt you, so keep away from it. If it lands near you, simply move out the way and I will come and make it safe. Okay? And just before I do the grand finale, one other thing to say, the classic, do not try this at home. I've been flying rockets now for 6 years. I have a very deep understanding of what's going on. I know what's likely to happen, what could happen. I've done the risk assessment and all the rest of it. I still have all of those, even as they're covered in Kevlar. I've still got those, most of that, and I've still got those. Please don't try this at home. Okay, it is a specialist sort of thing to do. So okay, so we're going to fly the rocket. It will fly only up to about 60 feet, but I think you'll find it interesting. I'll just go and set it up. Okay, launching in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Did it not? Okay. Hi, Steve and Terry. It's the end of the first day of International Astronomy Show in Coventry, 17th of May 2013. And what's your opinion of your first astronomy shows?
Thoroughly enjoyed it. Very, it's been excellent. Presentations.
I saw the house and brought this telescope.
So what was the best presentation then? You think, Terry?
Stuart Clark, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And what did he talk about?
He talked about gravity.
Yeah.
Whether there was an alternative. And he still didn't give us the answer.
That's true. I agree with that. I noticed too about gravity that you seem to have a few parcels there. What is it you've been buying today?
I bought some books off Stuart Clark and I bought some binoculars. Celestial.
There you got a good discount on those, didn't you? 30% off. I thought that was pretty good.
I nearly came to tears just to play on them, but you missed the scope, didn't you? I missed the scope, which was disappointing.
That's right, you had one held apart, as part for you, didn't you? But it got sold while you went to the talk.
Yeah, shouldn't have gone.
I know the feeling that happened to me at the Peak Star Party, I remember. What about yourself, Steve? You bought anything today?
Telrad Prizer.
Yeah.
That's about it.
A man with self-control.
I've been looking at those eyepieces and optics and colours and everything. They're just
They're a bit too cheap, weren't they, really?
buy several, you know. One day though.
One day. Okay. Hi guys, thanks for agreeing to talk to me at the Royston Astronomy Group. Perhaps I could ask you just to give me your opinions on what you thought of the International Astronomy Show.
Brilliant. I think it's been brilliant. Absolutely excellent. I mean, it's been very, very busy all day. This is Friday, which is normally the quietest day. And I think it's been excellent.
The amount of space here makes a difference. You're not all cooped in, and also we're not in the centre of London, which makes it a lot harder. No, I think this has been a nice, refreshing festival experience.
That's right.
Yeah, it's nice to be in the Midlands, you know.
Yeah.
You know, it's sort of like nice to cater for a different group of people. And I don't know about you, but I've seen a lot more faces that you wouldn't see down.
Yes. Yeah. I think a lot of people from the far north have come down. Actually.
Yeah.
They wouldn't bother normally down to London. This is a nice halfway house for people who live quite a way further north.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite good.
I agree with you.
The telescopes, etc., are set up. There's an enormous number here, which is fantastic.
I don't think you've seen it like this before. You just can't do it.
No.
No, they have got there's a lot of kit on sale here.
Yeah.
A lot more than normal.
Yeah, there's a real sense of room, isn't there?
Yeah.
Did you get to see any of the talks at all?
No. Too busy. Been far too busy.
What have you been filming for BBC?
No, we've not been filming. We've just answering people's questions and talking to people.
You haven't been tempted to buy something for yourselves?
I've already done that. We bought.
You have you? So what have you bought today?
Before I came out tonight, I actually managed to break the focuser on my C14.
Right.
I bought a new placement focuser for it.
I bought a Ratten 21 orange filter.
All right. Okay.
Nice.
So, Pete, does your wife know that you've spent this money on a new focuser?
I don't care. She's happy with me spending money.
Because we've all seen the pictures of the summer house on the TV.
The Wendy house.
The Wendy house, yes.
He's never forgiven me for saying that. I know.
Well, thanks very much for speaking to me.
And
Thank you.
for your members, by the way.